what you accept is what you accept really. I'm going to say it again. What you accept is what you accept really. What you accept in your life is what you accept. You need to get that through your mind. Now, what I'm going to do in this video, first I want you to liven yourself up, wake up, drink some water, whatever you got to do, because in this video we're going to talk about what you accept is what you make your life to accept. Now, first, let me tell you a little bit about myself, just in case you don't know, so I can give a little, so you can have some credibility. And I think that what I'm about to tell you is very credible, very. So I want to make it quite clear. Please listen to my words. I want to make this quite clear. I started my first successful, now I've tried different things throughout my life, but I started my first successful company with my wife in 1990. So just so you understand my mindset, where I'm coming from, right now I'm 56 years old. So since the age of 20 years old to now, I have not worked for anyone. No time during that period of time did I have to go back and work for somebody. Nowhere. That gives me a very unique mindset when it comes to business. I've had the ups and downs. I've went through 4 different recessions. A company was almost bankrupt due to my poor financial habits that I had to learn and overcome. So I'm coming from a very unique place, and I'm going to give you some information that you might like it and you might not like it. And I'm going to start here. And the reason why I titled this video is what you accept is what you accept, really. And what I mean by that is what you accept in your mind, what you accept in your heart, what you accept as your feelings, what you accept with everything that's around you, that's coming at you, everything is what you accept really. That's the life that you really accept. And also I want to put this out there too before we get started, or before we continue, is that the information I'm going to give you is going to open your eyes. It's going to open your eyes to everlasting possibilities. I see this and I feel it and I know this. You have to have a full, open-hearted, positive state of mind right now with the information I'm about to give you. If you don't open up yourself and have a positive mindset and just put all of the negative stuff to the side, if you don't do it, this video is going to like hit you like a wall of bricks, because I'm going to tell you the truth about what it takes to be successful in business. And also, I'll throw this out there. There was nothing that was handed to me financially, but everything that my mother and father gave me, from the life lessons to me even being born, to even be able to give you this information, to be a person, to be here to do what I do for my family, for what I do with making these videos. So I never say that I came from nowhere, from nothing. I don't say that. I came from a mother and father who raised me and helped me get into the position, and I took it to the next level. I know that each and every one of you who are watching this video right now, you want respect in your life. You want good things to happen for you. You want to protect what you got now, and you want to grow it. You want to increase your lifestyle. You want your dreams to come true, whatever those dreams are. So, with that being understood, at the age of 20, my wife and I started our first successful company. Together, we had tried some things during that time. Like, we got together pretty young. We tried some stuff, it didn't work. And then before I even met my wife, I tried some stuff that didn't work in my teens and, before I joined the Army. And I was in the Army from the age of 18 to 20 for 2 years. And now, so I have a very unique experience on life, on business, and I'm about to open up and tell you what you need to hear. And you might not like it, but you need it. And also, before I get started, let me say this too. Not everyone who's watching this video has what it takes to be successful in business. But I also will say that everyone who is watching this video has the ability to learn what it takes to be successful in business. So now, this is something that you are probably experiencing if you're working for somebody. You got to clock in. You deal with attitudes from your boss. You deal with attitudes from your coworkers. You have employee disputes. You have pay issues. Maybe you're not earning what you believe you're worth. You have respect issues where you don't think that you're respected at your job. You don't think that you're respected as a person. People don't understand you. Day to day, when you talk co-workers, talk to your boss, do your job, whatever you're doing, you don't feel understood. Like you go through this on a daily basis. Your opinions may not even be welcome. Your opinions may not even be wanted. Your opinions may not even be valued. Your opinions are like throwing stuff on the wall. It doesn't matter to anybody. So now what I want to let you know, and like I said with this video, what you accept is what you accept really. For you to make it to the other side, to be self-employed first. First, you're going to be self-employed. Then you can build a business and you can have other people working for you. But I think that most people at the level that you're at right now, if you're coming from 9 to 5 and you're going to start something, you're going to be self-employed first. And the difference, how I define self-employed, is where you're doing most of the work. You're building the business, and then at some point you're going to hire some people, but you'll still be self-employed. When you get to the level that I'm at, where you actually have a company and you don't have to show up there, and you make a lot of money, you don't have to show up, you don't have to do anything. That's when you make it to that level. But right now we're talking about that self-employed level, talking about taking yourself out of that situation that I just talked about and getting over to the other side of being self-employed. So all of those things that I just named off, clocking in, attitudes, employee disputes, pay issues, respect, don't understand, your opinions are not wanted or not valued, is what you have to do to be self-employed, to be able to get out of that situation, is you have to be willing to up your level of accountability. Because this is something that you got to understand. When you move over to being self-employed, you're going to actually be dealing with two personalities within yourself. You're going to be dealing with the positive-minded personality that is trying to be the go-getter, that's trying to get somewhere, that's trying to make your life better. And then you're going to be dealing with the other personality, which is accepting what you don't really want to accept, but because you're so used to doing it, you're going to accept it. And you need to come to the realization. You're going to have to come to the realization that what you are accepting is what you accept. And you need to stop accepting it. And I know that sounds easy for me to say, but there was a time that I had to do that. In 1990, when my wife and I started our first company, I was working as a security guard at a local college, working from 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. in the morning. And we started our free advertising publication that we were going to have local businesses place ads in, and we're going to pass around the community for free, and people will respond to those ads, and we will collect money from the advertisers and just keep doing it week after week after week after week after week. But I had to make a commitment that, number one, that my opinions were not wanted at that job. I was only making $6.25 per hour at that job. $6.25 is what I was making in 1990 at that job. There was no respect. Get myself there on time by 8 p.m. or there was going to be trouble. And I had to sit there and do that all through the night. It was hell to stay up in the morning, especially after midnight, but I was kind of used to it because I had to do guard duty in the Army. But I came to, in my own mind, I realized that what I accepted is what I accepted at that time was the reality, and I was accepting what I didn't want. So the first step that I had to make after starting the business and struggling a little bit as the business was starting to go was that I had to be fully accountable for everything that I had to do for my part of the business, and my wife had to do the same thing. It was not something that where she had to come and make me do something and I can't make her do something. We had to come to in our own mind that we are not going to accept what we had accepted. And the day that we did that switch flipped from a $500 investment to 4 years later making over $100,000 to years later making multi-millions of dollars to this day, that we still own that company. It has transitioned to a digital marketing company, but that company fed my wife, myself, my 3 daughters, a lifestyle that no one had ever expected that we would ever live. Not my relatives, not her relatives. And yes, at that time, people thought that we were crazy. Like, what are you doing? You didn't even go to college or nothing for this type of stuff. You don't know none of that stuff. But that doesn't matter. What matters is that we were going to make our own reality, and we were not going to accept. We had the list of what we wasn't going to accept. That meant that we made a whole new list of what we would accept. And that new list started with being accountable to everything that we had to do. So if you don't like clocking in, then you have to be accountable to what you're going to have to do to not clock in. If you don't like the attitudes that you're dealing with at your job, you're going to have to be accountable to what you're going to put in place, in position, so you don't have to deal with those attitudes. If you don't want employee disputes with your coworkers, well, you got to get yourself ready to get out of that situation, but you're going to have to hold yourself accountable to be able to even do that. Pay issues. If you don't like what you're getting paid, you can't expect someone else to pay you what you want to get paid. You have to be accountable and get into that position yourself. Respect. People are not going to respect you until you show yourself to be respectful. That means that you have to be someone that they see in their eyes to respect. You probably right now, if you're not getting the respect that you believe you should get, that means that you are not showing that you need to be respected. And if you are showing that you need to be respected, then you need to show yourself respect and get out of that situation. And I know that that sounds easy to say, but I did that. When I left that job, I did that. Without having a safety net or anything, I did that because $6.25 per hour was not going to cut it. People don't understand you. No one is going to understand you. As a matter of fact, when you start to do your own thing and your own business, the people that you used to work with won't understand you, and your family and friends won't understand you. Watch my video that I talked about Napoleon Hill's Laws of Success to go into more detail about what you need to do, because you don't need to be telling everybody what you're planning on doing. And in your opinions, if you want your opinions to be valued, you need to make a place for your opinions to be valued. If you own your own business, your opinions will be valued. Now, another thing that I want to talk about that from my experience of what I went through growing my business is that I see something right now, and there's always a good and a bad with certain things that become available to us. Having too much information can sometimes be too bad, and having too much information can sometimes be good. What I see here is one of the major problems with platforms like YouTube, the how-to world that we live in right now, is that people don't even, because there's so much information out there, people don't even understand that help is there because they don't understand what they really want. They don't understand that what you accept is what you accept really. And so when the hand is out there to give you help, you can't even recognize it. You can't recognize help. And even if you recognize help, you don't know what to do with that help because you're not holding yourself accountable to do anything with the help. So you get information and then you don't do anything with it. I call this is what I always do this. This is one of my life lessons that I learned was that you have to have an A to Z mentality. What that means is that whatever you start, even if it fails, you need to go from A to Z, start to finish. When I started doing that, I started seeing that some of the stuff I just didn't really want to do. It didn't fail because it was going to fail. So that took away the excuse that I could have had to make myself feel so good because something didn't work. When my wife and I do something, we say, if we're going to do it, we're going to do it. If we're not going to do it, we got to say we can't do it. We don't want to do it. There is nothing wrong with you saying you don't want to do it. People approach me all the time. Steve, I got this real estate deal. Steve, franchise, all of these different things hit us. And we're like, we don't want to, we do what we want to do. Bank called me and they's like, hey, we got this investment for you. We want you to sit down with our private client banker. We got some investment opportunities for you. We don't want to do that. My wife and I right now, we handle and manage all of our investments. When you start to have that mentality, you do what you want to do. That means that when you do something, you're going to go from A to Z, start to finish. Success or failure. But you'll find that you will see the reasons why something failed, and it's most likely that you just didn't really want to do it. The next thing is you have to get started. I see a lot of people it's like they're grinding at the beginning of getting started with something, or when they get started with something, they never really truly understand what they have to go through to get that thing that they're trying to do off the ground. And so they get this mindset of no one's trying to help me. I don't have the resources. All of these excuses come into their mind and they're trying to figure out what is so different between what me trying to be successful and someone else that they see trying to be successful. But if we boil it all down, it's what you accept is what you accept really. So one of the things that I've noticed with my channel here, and if you're watching me on another platform, thank you for watching, is that a lot of people are not doing any homework that I ask people to do. And that goes back into what I said, that people have too much information and are not doing anything with that information. I understand that it could be overwhelming. Something can look good and not, something can look good at one moment and then seem a little bit too difficult to put into action. What I would suggest is that you figure out what you want, and then you figure out what you don't want to be dealing with anymore. And you put together a game plan to get you to where you want to be at. If you could at least start with doing that, you're going to see that you're going to be able to move forward and have some changes in your life. But if you're not willing to do that, it's going to be very difficult. And you're going to have to hold yourself fully accountable. If you're not willing to hold yourself fully accountable, nothing is going to work for you. You're going to just find that you're going to be starting stuff and you're not even going to be finishing anything. So I want to thank you for your time. Please like this video. Please post your questions and comments. This is Stephen A. Williams with Making Money with Stephen A. Williams here on YouTube.